Welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt Thiessen. With me today, stand-up comedian and voiceover artist Alyx King. This is your daily dose of happy. We are so happy you decided to join us today.
Although we are going to have to redo that intro fairly soon, in about 8 days, because it's not going to be Alyx King anymore. It's going to be
I'll
Alyx
keep my stage
Standy.
name.
You will?
I'll keep my stage name, but I'll still be officially Mrs. Standy.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to redo the promo?
Nah, I mean you should
okay,
anyway, because that's a bad picture of me. But yeah, no.
Well, all right. Well, we can do a different video. That's fine.
Okay,
no problem.
that's fine.
Yeah. But we're actually continuing a new trend here on LOA Today, because I don't know if you heard, Debbie G, who does the Friday show with me, just got engaged.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we currently have 2 engagements at the same time here on LOA Today. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And she's really, really excited. Interesting too, because in a sense, her story is a little similar to yours. She's previously married, so this is the second time around for her. But we had a conversation a few months back where she was wondering if she was going to meet the right person, which reminded me of conversations you and I had back in the day when you were first, here on the show. And look what happened.
Yeah.
Apparently the law of attraction really does work.
It really does.
So I thought we would just keep it really simple today, because since you're approaching the day, you probably don't need a whole lot of stress on your shoulders. So we'll just make it really easy. And
no stress.
Continue a little theme that we've had for the last couple of days, because I realized a couple of days ago that, say, for instance, in the Trust Your Abundance community, the TAIA community, and even in other modalities, and talking to other coaches and so forth, we rarely talk about abundance, which is odd, because abundance is in the word TAIA, Trust Your Abundance. And yet, even there, I mean, most of what we're doing in there is just working on eliminating blocks and resistances and getting out of our own way and so forth. So in that sense, it makes sense. You wouldn't talk about it much, but I mean, the word's in there. We should really be talking about it. So on Tuesday, Janine and Bridget and I were all in the boot camp. So we talked about abundance in terms of what's going on in boot camp. And then yesterday, Cindy and Jackie and I talked about trust and abundance. So we'll just continue the theme, because if you're approaching the wedding day, you're feeling a ton of abundance, aren't you?
Yes. In all different types of ways.
In all different types of ways. So, like, can you elaborate a little bit?
Well, gifts keep coming in the mail, so that's nice.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
And so we have an abundance of boxes. There's nowhere to move in here anymore. Oh, I can't wait until it's over. I can just put everything away.
Right?
Yeah, so abundance of boxes. Trying to think, what else? Abundance of love, because a lot of people are helping out with getting the wedding together and everything else.
That's great. That's
Slack,
wonderful.
where Slack is being had. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course that's really what it's all about anyway, is celebrating the togetherness of the new loving couple. That's boy, that's wonderful.
Right.
There's also the abundance of those of us who are attending the ceremony. Louise and I, of course, have been getting our get-ups together so that we can be ready to present ourselves. It's the first time I've dressed up for something in a long time. I almost have forgotten how to do it. But it was a challenge for me, because you know how big I am.
Yeah.
Well, clothing is difficult when you're that tall.
Yeah. Kenny's stepdad's having trouble too, and he's only 6'4".
Yeah, it's a challenge, but that's all right. Got it worked out. I got all the duds.
Ooh, got the duds.
I got the duds. So we're all set, and we also extended our stay for afterwards. So we're going to be doing Martha's Vineyard the next day. So it's going to be a nice combination.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's
really
a perfect time to go, because the foliage and no tourists.
Yeah.
It's the perfect time to go.
Yep. We'll just have to make sure that we dress up warm for the ferry, but other than that,
yeah,
be good.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, and we're looking forward to. There's a restaurant there that we have a little history with on the vineyard. The last time, I think it was the last time we were there, which would have been about 3 years ago. It was right when Louise was really sick with the hyperthyroidism.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a memorable visit in that she didn't have a lot of energy. I was kind of helping her get around and so forth. And it was a hot day. And when you're dealing with hyperthyroidism, any kind of extreme heat or extreme cool is, really extreme. So she was practically fainting.
Yeah.
And so we needed to get her some water and a place to sit down. Of course, that's always hard to find in the vineyard anyway. So we found this restaurant, got in there, and we were hoping for well, you don't really hope for air conditioning on the vineyard. That's not really what they do. But we got something better. We got a restaurant that was open at both ends, wide open, like the walls missing. So we had this great cross breeze coming in, and I swear to God, they had the fastest service we've ever seen in our lives.
What kind of food was it?
Oh, it was simple. It was like lobster rolls and stuff like that. But literally, we placed the order, and 30 seconds later, everything showed up.
Nice. I love
that
service.
Really, really fast. I mean, they had them lined up. They were just like, okay, there's Walt and Louise's. We'll just wait till they get here and hand it in, So it was quite memorable. So we're going to be revisiting that now that Louise is healthy again and able to actually do more. And we're going to do it on a day that's not so hot, which will also be a good thing.
It's supposed to be a balmy 66 that day.
A very cool day, yeah. But that's okay. I like that. That's good. So we'll just dress up.
But it's 66 on the Cape, though, so it's very nice.
Yep. No doubt about it. So yeah, that's what we're looking forward to after the big event. Of course, you'll have other things on your mind after the big event. You'll be off to. I imagine you're off on your trip somewhere. What happens afterwards?
Here.
You're tripping here. Oh, okay.
Here. Yeah. So we're gonna be tourists for the week, and we're gonna do all the stuff that we don't get to do because tourists are always here when they're doing them. And
we're going to the Cape. Oh my God!
We don't get to enjoy it as year-rounders. So we're gonna do some stuff here.
Cool. So like, where are you gonna go?
We're gonna have a Provincetown day because I have never been.
You got to be kidding! You've never been to P-Town?
Never been to P-Town.
I mean, that's an event all by itself.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that for a day.
This is your first one, but when you go back the second time, make sure you go back for the parade, which is in August.
Oh, definitely.
Got to see the parade. That is the event of the year. Just saying.
Wait, when is that in June?
August, I think it is.
Well, no, because Pride is in June. Do they do it after Pride?
Well, put it this way: the one that we saw was in August.
That might have just been a regular Tuesday. That's Provincetown, bro.
No, this was definitely the parade. You couldn't miss it.
Well, I'll find out when it is next year. If it doesn't
pretty
coincide
obvious
with my other parades, then I'll definitely do it.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Once you've seen a gay pride parade in P-Town, it just doesn't. Nothing else even matches it. It's just Let's just say that they have absolutely no qualms about anything.
Nope. It gives 0 Fs.
And I actually videoed the parade that year. And
nice.
I mean, the ones who are really out there, they were just like, they would spot me with the camera. Make sure you get me. And then they put on their little act. And so.
Yep, that's how it is.
I got you. Of course, Louise stole the show with that one because at the end of it, you could hear her say, "Can we go home now? My feet are killing me."
Oh, man.
But it was a lot of fun. So anyway, I digress. Sorry, I interrupted the itinerary. So you're going to do P-Town and then what?
Yeah, we're going to do P-Town. We're going to do Plymouth because that takes a full day.
Yeah.
I've never been to Plymouth Plantation or anything like that, so I kind of want to do it just to say I did it. We're going to Patriot Place because, again, I've never been.
Okay.
Foxborough Stadium, all that stuff. So we're going to do that for a day, and then
which I guess technically it's kind of off the Cape, but that's okay. We won't
it is off the Cape, but you know,
it's close enough for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a bridge away.
Exactly. Isn't everything?
Pretty much, yes. If you live on the Cape, everything's a bridge away.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what we're going to be doing.
You going to do any of the shopping places? Going to do like Chatham or Yarmouth or anything like that?
No, I'm saving my shopping days for when we go to Patriot Place because their mall has expanded.
Oh, it has. Oh, it's been a while since we've been there. Okay.
Yeah, and we've been watching Phantom Gourmet on Sundays now, so we found a couple restaurants we want to try.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds tasty. So, are you going to do any of the islands at some point, Martha's Vineyard or Nantucket?
I might. It depends on the schedule because He wants to bring the car over, and you have to like book that like a month in advance.
Yeah, that's not a small feat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I actually experienced that on our honeymoon because we went to Martha's Vineyard on our honeymoon, and her aunt and her cousin had a place that they had reserved on Martha's Vineyard, and they had reserved getting their car over there. So we actually had transportation around the island, which was wonderful.
That's key right there.
Really, really nice. Yeah. Not that you need it. I mean, they got the buses, they got the little bikes, the scooters and all that kind of stuff. But to have a car there is really nice. That's luxury living.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna look into it, see what's going on over there. I might pick a day and do that, and maybe surprise him because he's been dying to take me.
It's definitely worth it for sure. Yeah. How many times have you been over there? You've been over there a lot.
I've never been.
Really? You never been to the vineyard?
Yeah.
Oh my God. How about Nantucket?
Nope.
Neither one. Wow. Oh man, you're so close. That's really something.
I know, right?
You definitely.
Here, you don't do the tourist stuff.
I guess. Yeah.
Here.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. But yeah, well, Martha's Vineyard especially, you got to do that one for sure because there's so much there. All the little towns are, Vineyard Haven and was it
Oaks Bluff?
Oaks Bluff. Oh yeah, definitely got to do Oaks Bluff. Fabulous little town. Some of the best restaurants are on the vineyard. Really, really good ones.
I'm already drooling just thinking about the vacation. And the food at the wedding, so excited.
Ooh, okay. Can you give us any hints? Any tastes in advance?
I can tell you exactly. Where's my folder? Well, okay, so I do know that there is lobster stuffed chicken.
Oh, okay, I'm sold.
Walt's like, and I'm there. So there's also crab cakes. Very good crab cakes.
Ooh, I love crab cakes.
There's something, what is it called? Crab cakes, chicken, cheese tortellini carbonara.
Ooh.
And a few other things. Oh, and the desserts. We got desserts, little cakes in a cup. They're like this big. They look like parfaits, but it's frosting and cake.
I love it. That's funny.
Yeah, so we got those and regular Caesar salad, coffee, tea, all that stuff.
Now this is what I call an abundant meal. I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely an abundant meal. And I think there's roast beef in there somewhere.
Oh, just to throw everybody off a little.
Yeah, just to throw.
Because you're on the Cape, it's got to have seafood.
And there's a fish something.
As if you didn't have enough fish already.
I know, right?
With the lobster and the crab cakes.
Yeah.
So that's good. And I know there's going to be some sort of great entrance because you got the fog machines rolling in. Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to that. Anything else that you can divulge, or is it all secret at this point?
It's all secret.
It's all secret. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll skip that part then. So let's go on to some of the other abundances.
Wait. I did find out something funny, though. Apparently, I seated you at the difficult name table.
Okay.
Didn't realize it. So my nurse is coming to the wedding, and he comes in, and he's like, oh, where am I sitting? And I showed him the seating chart. And he goes, how do you pronounce these? And he's like, why did you put me at the difficult name table? You trying to say something about my last name? And I was like, I didn't even notice. Because you have Thiessen, Cathalanca, Sraza, and Nasrallah.
I don't know. Ours feels like it's pretty tame compared to those others.
But when you see how everything's spelt, you'll be like, oh, I get it.
Well, that's true, because ours is weird the way it's spelled. Yeah. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at the difficult name table. Well, it's nice to have.
But you'll be sitting with my nurse and my psychiatrist.
Is that a good thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
They're dying to meet you. They know all about the podcast, so they're dying to meet you.
Oh, fabulous! Excellent. Yeah, that's gonna be fun, I'm sure. So okay, so and the wedding and the reception are taking place in the same place, right?
Same place. Yep.
Right. So it's like one leading directly into the other.
Yeah.
So what else is abundant going into the next week and into the wedding day and so forth?
Lots of free stuff. I like that. I like that a lot. Free stuff. I was on. I'm in so many bride groups, and one of the bride groups had.
That's the thing these days, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Oh my God. Thank God for technology, because planning a wedding by yourself, totally different from even when my sister was doing it 10 years ago. So much easier.
Well, that's good.
There's QR codes for everything now. It's so much easier. Scan here, scan there.
At the time, we didn't even know what a QR code was when we got married. So.
Exactly. Oh man,
I don't think it had been invented yet.
Here's the menu.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, but anyway, so I'm in these bride groups, and one of the brides was saying, "Oh, I have stuff left over from my wedding." She didn't show any pictures. She didn't say what it was. She just said, "Who's the next bride coming up? I would like to give you a box for free." And I'm like, so everyone's putting the date they're getting married, and I was the next one up. So she's like, "Give me your address. I'm mailing you something." And we spoke on Messenger. She sent me the tracking number. It'll be here Saturday. So I'm excited to see what it is.
Okay. I just realized Louise asked me to ask you something, and I don't think I ever asked you. You may already have this all, figured out by now. You probably do, but she wanted to know if you needed any toasting flutes for the bride and groom toast.
Do I need any what?
Flutes, the little champagne glasses for toasting.
No, we have those.
You have those, okay?
Yes, we have our flutes, and then of course everyone else has flutes.
Yes, sure. Right.
But we have
specifically the bride and groom ones, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because we have some sitting around from our wedding, and she figured, well, we could.
Oh, that would have been so nice.
But a little late.
That could have been my something borrowed, or something old, or whatever it is. I'm not
either
doing
one. Either one. I like the borrowed one better.
Oh man.
So okay, yeah. So that's good. Some good stuff there.
Yeah. And then I told you the story of how we got the DJ for free.
No.
Okay. So we had a free DJ in the beginning, and he's a friend of Kenny's, and he was not as good as he was hyped up to be. I found out that he's only done cookouts and barbecues and never done a wedding before. So when I was asking him these questions and he was acting like he knew what I was talking, I was like, yeah. So do you need the names for announcing people and blah, 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 little things that DJs should know how to do. He was like, oh, wait, well, I don't know. I'm dyslexic. So can you hire an MC?
Dyslexic.
I'm like, what? Then his equipment broke and he didn't tell us till the last minute. He wasn't even, I don't even know when he was planning on telling us, because we happened to go over his house one day and he was like, oh yeah, my speaker broke, so we're gonna have to rent a PA system. No, you. So I was getting all distraught about it. I was like, I'm not having good vibes about this situation. And Kenny was like, I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Not even maybe an hour later, he puts a post on Facebook, who wants tattoos and piercings. A friend of his from 20 years ago hits him up and says, hey, I need piercings. Can I come over today, get my nose done? He said, sure, no problem. She comes over, find out in the last 20 years, she had become a DJ. She had become a DJ, and she's like 2018's #1 Boston host of events or something like that. So yeah. And she asked him, she said, hey, would you want to trade any DJ services for tattoos? Because I saw you're getting married. And he was like, abso-freaking-lutely. And so
boom, love it.
Yeah, boom, free DJ.
That is fabulous. Well, that's what happens when you're in the flow.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
And it's cool that you've been able to stay in the flow, like you said, with the help of technology.
Yeah.
During the lead up period, because that's the classic story, the bride who's just absolutely tearing her hair out because she's trying to get everything arranged before the event.
Yep.
And you're not in that space, you're in that high flying space, which is
that's because I'm super organized.
Well, yeah, but you also know a little bit about how important it is to stay there.
Oh yeah, you have to. I can't go down a spiral. I don't have time.
I don't have time. I like that.
I'm gonna make that a t-shirt. I don't have time to spiral.
That would be a good one, actually.
Yeah, right? I'm gonna talk to
Daniel.
I'm gonna see if he'll do a t-shirt for me.
Who's got time for that kind of thing? Good, yeah. So this is getting exciting. It's getting real.
Yes, we are 7 days and a wake up away.
7 days and a wake up. She's doing the countdown. I love it.
Yep. We're doing the countdown. So I say it's 8 days, but in apparently in prison, that's how you count your time is days and a wake up, because you wake up and you get to leave the prison that day. So it's 7 days and a wake up.
But you don't want to have a prison mentality, do you?
I don't want it either, but that's how he counts days. So
Well, you can always make up your own method. You don't have to go that way.
You know what? I kind of like it because it feels like it's sooner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you're
I
really
don't
looking
like
forward
the
to it.
connotation of where it came from, but I
Yeah.
do like the theory behind it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Hey, as long as it's high vibe, that's really the
Yeah,
most important thing
exactly.
anyway, right?
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't really matter where it comes from.
Yep.
So, okay, well, that's good. And then you got your trip figured out for immediately afterward. I
Yep.
have to ask a question that probably doesn't apply, but it applied to us, so that's why I'm bringing it up. We did 2 honeymoons.
Yeah, we are too.
You are too. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When's the second one?
The second one's going to be next year on our 1-year anniversary. We're going to go to Disney.
On the anniversary to Disney. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to go to the Caribbean, but you don't go to the Caribbean in September because we got married in September. You're getting
Oh
married
no, that's hurricane season.
Yeah, you don't go then. So we did number 1 in the Cape, and then number 2 was the following May in Barbados. So
nice. We're also going to Jamaica next year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you got a 3-parter.
Well, the Jamaica trip is technically my best friend's getting married, so that's what we're going for. Rusty?
Just call it part 1.5 or something.
Yeah.
just make it part of the honeymoon, right?
Solid 2 when we get to Disney.
Yeah, why not?
I like it. We might stay a few extra days anyway.
I mean, that's actually the way Louise and I felt about it the first year or so. Every day was like an extension of getting married.
Yeah.
That's another way. I didn't know anything about keeping your abundance up at that point. I didn't know anything about the word abundance. I had barely even used the word ever in my life. But that year we were really good at it just because we were feeling so good.
Yeah.
We ran with it. We just stayed with it.
Does it feel different?
That's it. I asked myself that question on the day.
Yeah.
After we got married. Mm-hmm. And the honest answer was it didn't feel any different.
That's what everyone's saying. I don't like that answer.
But what was different was the way that you're treated.
Mm-hmm.
The first example of that being immediately after the ceremony, my mom comes up and says to Louise, "Congratulations, Mrs. Thiessen," to kind of drill home that it happened. And yeah, that really is true now.
Yep.
So it's that kind of thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
You get these little reinforcements. Oh yeah, that's right. We're actually married now. How about that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it doesn't feel like. Actually, you know what was going on in my head that day?
What?
It was the fact that about a half hour before the ceremony was supposed to start, my brother took the entire male audience with him off the premises.
Oh yeah. And you're all, what's going on?
But we haven't started yet. Little did I know that my bride-to-be was stuck in a limousine that wouldn't go backward, and they needed a whole bunch of male bodies to push it backward.
Did you get your money back for the limo, though?
We got nothing back from the limo. What we got?
Are you serious?
We got some great photography, is what we got.
I guess so.
A whole bunch of guys in tuxedos pushing a limousine. But at the time, I was just standing there like, what is going on? And of course, everything was getting late as a result of this. I mean, we started the ceremony about a half hour, 45 minutes late.
Oh no, I can't have that because I need to take my pictures at sunset. So we got things to do.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the other thing that's the part where you realize that you're married, because that takes forever. The photography is just like, oh my God, is this ever going to end? That's the way it felt.
Photography because everybody gets to participate.
Okay.
So what we did was we went with I think it's called Wedding Mix, and it's an app, and it takes all the pictures that all the guests take pictures and videos. It takes all their stuff and adds it up into one file, and then they make a wedding video for us from all those contributions.
So that's what that link was about that you sent out.
Yes, that was what that link was about. It's going to be explained again the day of.
It's probably a good idea because there are going to be a bunch of us who've taken some pictures, and we're going to be struggling to say, okay, where was that link from? I know I saw it somewhere.
Exactly. We're going to have it written in the programs, and we're also and the DJ's going to walk you through.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I just have to find the link. I just have to remember that it came in the text message.
Yeah, we're having a social media moment so that everyone can be collectively on the same page, and so we can take it in, and so everyone can take their pictures and then put their phones away, so the photographer doesn't have phones in their pictures.
Yes, that does actually affect the lighting. That is
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's a smart photographer. Is there a videographer or is it just a photographer?
It's just a photographer.
A photographer. Okay. So you need us to take videos on our phones.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Well, it's nice to know the
But
latest.
it's a cool app because it gives you a shot list like, hey, have you asked to talk to the bride and groom? Or hey, did you get pictures of this? Or yeah, stuff like that. So it's so cute. It's so cute.
Crowd photography.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's like back in the 90s when people used to put those disposable cameras on the tables.
Similar idea. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we did that too, but I don't remember what happened with the film.
Nobody ever does. That's the thing.
I know Louise was in charge of all
People
that.
never
I'm sure she
develop
collected
those
it.
things.
Well, I bet you she did actually,
Mm-hmm.
because she would do that. But I don't remember what the result was.
Oh, Brenda Rogers made a comment.
Oh, she was loving the fact that you're going to Disney, even though Disney isn't a big deal to her because her husband works there.
Well, yeah, we're getting season passes from a friend of ours down there, so that's why.
Oh,
but yeah, I'm dying to go to Universal Studios because I have not been to Harry Potter World yet.
That is wonderful, I have to say.
Yes, I'm super excited for that.
Yes, I think I told you, Louise and I did that when we were in Florida just before the pandemic hit.
Yeah,
and yeah, that was definitely worth it. Especially the train. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
the Hogwarts Express ride is fabulous.
Was Hagrid's ride ready when you were there? Hagrid's motorcycle ride?
Remember. I remember seeing stuff about it. I don't remember if it was actually running. It might have been. I don't. We didn't ride. We don't do a lot of rides just because the fear of heights gets in the way. So we just kind of.
Oh yeah, I forgot about my fear of heights. Dang it. Double dang it.
Well, it's like anything else.
I'll hold his backpack.
It just depends on how you decide to go at it.
True.
I mean, the thing I learned from this is one of the things that happens when you get married, leading up to it and immediately afterward. You learn all kinds of things about your spouse. And one of the things I learned about Louise was something I had never known before about anyone who ever had, that I knew of, that had a fear of heights. Interestingly enough, her fear of heights isn't that she's going to fall. Her fear of her fear of heights is the fear that she's going to try to fly.
What?
That's what I said the first time I heard it.
Okay.
She's concerned that she's going to try to fly and hurt herself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a very real fear. I mean, any time that we're dealing with any height over like 8 feet.
Yeah.
I'm looking around to see, does she need me to help her in some way?
Right.
So it's very real, but just it's not the way I would have manifested it if it were me.
She wanted to dip into the contrast. Just let her.
Apparently, yeah. But I thought that was really interesting. A fear that she'd
afraid to fly. That's like.
No, she's not. She's not afraid to fly. She's afraid that she'll try to fly.
But that's what I'm saying. Like on a metaphorical level, that's deep.
Because I mean, she'll climb onto a jet plane. She's okay with that,
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm afraid of heights, but I'll get on a plane. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. But if we're like when we're in DC, we aren't living in Virginia anymore. But when we were living in Virginia, we would go into DC and ride the metro, and some of those metro stations have really, really high escalators. And if it's one of the really high ones, she can't look around going either up or down. She literally has to stand behind me and bury her head in my back in order to ride it. So you know that feeling.
Oh yes, my stomach flips. I do not like it.
Yeah, that's a little bit tricky. So those are the kinds of things that you and Kenny are going to learn about each other. All kinds of little peccadillos. All the little things that make you you.
Well, we've been living together for 2 years, so we pretty much know everything now.
Well, we were living together a year, but that didn't stop us from learning all this stuff.
Well, even at a year, I would have thought we knew each other, but we didn't.
Hey, we've been together now 22 years plus the year that we were recording, and we're still learning things about each other.
True. People are always changing.
It's ongoing, yeah. And now have we learned most of it? Yeah, I think we probably learned 99% of it. But every
Yeah.
once in a while, something crops up. Really, really, you don't like? I thought you liked that. Okay.
Yeah. Things change, people grow, hopefully.
This is true. Well, that's the other part of it too. A good relationship is one where the two people involved grow spiritually relatively at the same rate or in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it really works well, I think. And I know Louise would agree with that too, because we've actually talked about that. I think there's
Wait, so you've been with Louise for 22 years?
We've been married 22, together 23.
Okay. Interesting.
Why?
Well, because one of the things we're doing is we're gonna have our first dance, but then we're gonna invite other couples that have been together like 5 years, 10 years, and then whoever ends up on the dance floor in the last minute has to give marriage advice to the new couple.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Marriage advice, huh? Marital advice?
So I would get ready because I'm pretty sure that's you.
Okay.
I can't think of anybody else who's been married as long as 22 years. Like Kenny's stepdad and his mom were 20 years, and they were like, who do you think beat us? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's Walt. Trying to think. No, I don't think there is anybody else.
I'll have to cue Louise then so she's ready for it.
Yes.
I think I know what my advice is.
Well, don't tell me now.
Okay.
I want to be surprised.
Well, you'll be surprised because I haven't said it to you directly yet, but once you hear it, you won't be surprised, I don't think.
Well, yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Right. I don't want to know what it is yet.
Right.
I want Kenny and I to experience it together.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll do that. So. All right. Well, there's a whole bunch of abundance stuff right there.
Oh, yeah.
There's another piece to it, of course. And this is something we were focusing on yesterday, Cindy and Jackie and I.
Mm-hmm.
Abundance and trust go together.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, until you are able to trust, including trusting that stuff you're trying to manifest is going to show up,
mm-hmm.
you don't really get to the abundance phase. The trust actually comes
that is so true.
Right?
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about how trust has been playing a role in the lead up to the big event.
Trust is something that people give me a lot of advice about as far as planning the wedding, because
really,
they're like, just trust that everything will go right that day. Everything is going to go wrong, but it's going to be fine anyway.
Well, I don't think everything is going to go wrong. I think that it's likely there will be at least one thing that doesn't work out the way you expect.
Yeah.
But that's not going wrong. That's just making things interesting.
But they said it's not going to matter at the end of the day. It's all going to feel good anyway.
That's true. Well, ours was the limousine story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and at the end of the day, you get a funny story out of it.
It was a wonderful story.
Yeah.
It reminded me at the time I was pulling my hair out, wondering when we were going to start the ceremony. That didn't last very long.
It was funny because Kenny asked if we could get a limo, and I said, no, not.
No limo here, thank you.
No limo. Well, besides the fact that we're getting married next to the room where the reception is, so that makes no sense.
This is true. Yes. I mean, that would be like the world's shortest limo ride, is what that would be.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, do you even take your foot off the brake for that?
It's where you go in one back door and you go out the other back door. You know?
Exactly. Surprise!
Right. We're here. Hey.
Oh, man.
That's actually kind of interesting now that I think about that. The idea of a limo would even come up because it's all in the same place.
Right. That's why I said no in the first place, because it's ridiculous.
Well, actually, it's not totally ridiculous because we had our ceremony and our reception in the same place too. She wanted the limo because she was having her maid of honor help her with getting ready to go, and she was having a hairdresser there to do her hair. And then after all that was done, then she wanted to be limoed to the event.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that made some sense.
Well, we're doing everything in the same building.
Yeah, I mean, you're staying there and everything, so it's not like
exactly.
it's not like it's an issue. Besides, you don't want to have to deal with a limo that has no reverse. It's not fun.
Doesn't sound like fun. Sounds like a great story, but it doesn't sound like fun in the moment.
It's a wonderful story afterward. Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, there was another story that happened on the day,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew at the time who it was. Over the years, as I've told the story, I've forgotten who it was who said it, which was probably a good thing.
It's been that long.
Yeah. Well, because I my original intention was I wasn't interested in spreading their name anyway.
Oh, so you just plain forgot after a while.
I just removed it from my memory. But there was one person who was talking with a friend of hers as she was going to the ladies, and was overheard by somebody close to me. I don't know who it was.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Oh, this marriage will never last."
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are they still alive to throw it in their face right now?
I don't remember who they are, so I don't know.
Good point. Good point.
I have no idea. All I know is, I'm sorry, you got that one wrong.
Right? Don't ask him for the daily numbers.
Right? Yeah, it didn't quite work out the way they expected, but too bad. There was one other really cool, memorable thing, too, that came out of it. My wife and her sister, my sister-in-law, had very much the sibling rivalry thing as they were growing up. Her sister's the eldest, Louise is the second oldest. And as a result, there were actually a number of years where they barely even spoke. Their relationship has improved immensely in the last few years. They've gotten really close in the last few years, which is great. But at the time, it was still a little bit, it was bad, but it wasn't great. It was one of those deals. And I got in a very quick conversation with her. Her name's Lee. I got in a very quick conversation with Lee at one point, because all the conversations, when you're the bride or the groom, every conversation lasts no more than 15 seconds. There are too many people to talk with.
I
just
know.
can't spend the time. But very, very brief conversation. And her comment to me was that she was very impressed. She didn't know her sister could pull off an event like this.
Oh.
And that's a big deal because Lee is kind of like the Martha Stewart of the family.
Okay. Gotcha.
You know? So she's known for being able to put on an event. She's known for doing everything to the nines and so forth.
Yeah.
For her to be impressed by what her sister did was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a really good piece of what came out of the wedding. That was really good. So you get stuff like that too.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for that part because I did an amazing job on the budget I had.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. Technology or no technology.
Technology or no technology.
It's still a skill. It's still you have
Still
to do it. Yeah, no doubt about that. But the fact is that when you're going through this process, especially on the day, that's going to be one thing I'll be curious to know what your take is on that. For me, once the ceremony was complete, everything after that was largely a blur because it happened so quickly.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
That's why we're having a private moment for ourselves, like right after the ceremony, after pictures, but before dinner. We're gonna go upstairs, hang out with ourselves, chill, just wrap our heads around everything, and then go to dinner. And
okay, well, that's good. That's fine. All I know is that it's not like it wasn't a blur in the sense that I don't remember things that happened. I do remember things that happened, but it just happened in a whirlwind.
Yeah.
So bang, 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 and you almost can't keep up with it at times just because it's happening so fast.
Yeah.
But it's a good kind of a thing. It's not like it's a drag or anything. It's just, whoa, that was fast. How long did we have these facilities for? And it's done already? Partly because of the event with the limo. We were going over and the staff, the venue were really nice about it because they knew that they let us stay an extra half an hour, which was really great of them.
Oh, that's nice.
They didn't have to do that. But yeah, it was it was quick. It went by quick. Oh, and then the weirdest part for me was afterward. It wasn't the traditional bride and groom drive away and everybody waves goodbye because we were there to the end.
Yeah.
We were helping put the chairs up. Almost, not quite, but it was like that. And when we left, I think there were like two other people left. So we were like right at the end.
Yeah.
And we both had. She was exhausted, and I had a splitting headache.
Mm.
We realized we'd been carrying all that stress, and we'd finally had a chance
Yeah.
to release stress, but now it was like coming back to us and so forth. So through dinner, and then after dinner we were driving to the Cape because, like I said, that was our destination.
Hmm.
And that night it was just, let's crash.
Yeah.
We got to recover. You know.
That's what I plan on doing, man.
Yeah. I don't know where all the old stereotypes about the wedding night come into it, because boy, they weren't at a wedding, any wedding I would have recognized. I can tell you that. Yeah. I mean, it's all good. It really is. It's all good. It's just that, boy, you just wear yourself out when you're putting something like this on.
Yeah, especially on this level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
So we're kind of getting a little bit away from abundance and trust. Let's go back to the trust thing again, because we kind of dabbled that one, dangled it in the water a little bit, but we didn't really talk about it in detail. So
our regular Thursday stees, that's what we do.
That's all it is. Yeah. So let's talk about how trust has been playing a role for you, because I think it's been playing a role in a lot of different ways, but I'm curious to see what your take is on
it. How has trust been playing a role for me? It's funny because I can see it, how Kenny's going through it for the last year, how he's transferred to the other side now, and he's starting to realize that when you believe in something, it actually does come true. And when you have a bad attitude about it,
yeah.
So it's fun watching him grow and start to notice things, and then hear my ideas come out of his mouth as if they were his.
That happens a lot.
It does. Yes. I'm like, I'll tell him this, and 6 months ago he didn't hear it, but now all of a sudden he's like, I noticed.
Oh yeah. Get ready for that. This is not a trend that ends. This doesn't stop at the wedding day. This goes on for years and years.
So I'm just like, good for you. I'm not gonna. There's a certain time limit on "I told you so" for me. So if you don't remember in the last month, then it's good for you. But earlier than that, that's what I was saying.
Think of it as a statute of limitations. Beyond that, there's no prosecution.
I have a statute of limitations on "I told you so."
Yes.
But don't tell him that, because he'll hold it for a month and wait, and then. You were right about. Yeah, I know I was, wasn't I?
I'm curious because you are at the stage now where you've had a year together. You've gotten to know each other pretty well. Are there any surprises? Anything that kind of, I wasn't expecting that kind of a thing?
Negative or positive?
Either one. I mean, negative or positive really has to do with how you feel about it. A surprise is a surprise, regardless of what kind of surprise it is.
I was surprised to find out that he is such a savage. Yes, last night, for instance, I made macaroni and cheese. I had macaroni and cheese. He wasn't hungry, so he went and got macaroni and cheese later. Instead of putting it on a plate, he just eats it out of the pot. I'm like, 3 times a week, I ask him, who raised you?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, wolves. What do you want from me?
Wolves.
He's like, you've met my mother. So that's the negative thing. And then
wait. You can't just dance past that one. What is it about his mother? I'm curious.
Oh, she's just as savage as he is.
She is. Oh, okay. So now we know where he learned it from. Okay.
Oh, definitely. He is totally his mother's child, let me tell you.
Interesting. All right. Okay. Because in my case, what my mother brought to the table was that she was a horrible cook. Louise was a very good cook. Which, that was like a big winner for Louise. All she had to do was produce some kind of food that tasted good, and it was a win. and her food tastes really, really good.
You would have had me.
All of a sudden, my taste level was taken to a completely new level.
Right? But there's a flavor other than bland.
That's right.
No one told me.
Well, it wasn't so much a flavor other than bland. It was a flavor other than overdone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a cool way to grow up.
Well, no wonder I was so skinny.
Yeah. Oh, he's a picky eater. No, he's not.
Well, yeah, actually I was. I just didn't know it.
You just weren't picking that. That's what it was.
Yeah, I didn't know that there was something else to pick.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say actually that was the thing that did surprise me about him is how good of a cook he is.
Mm, okay, that's
And
cool.
he's just talented in so many ways, like especially with his art
Really?
and and obviously cooking and the like the little things he does, like the little romantic things that he doesn't think is romantic because he didn't like buy me a helicopter ride. I'm like, no, bro, it's the fact that you took the time to write this card. That's the little things.
It is. That makes all the difference.
Yeah, I prefer that over anything.
One of my favorite things to say about relationships is that the most important thing where a relationship concerned is relating. And
Mm,
that's a form of relating.
yeah.
Giving that card is a form of relating.
Hmm.
So when you're doing that, you are having the ultimate relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what makes it romantic.
That's what I say.
Exactly. I agree. Now, did I know that when I first got married? Maybe, kind of, sort of. Certainly not 10 years before. 10 years
Yeah.
before, I was
How old were you
clueless.
when you got married?
42.
All right, so I beat you by a couple years.
Yeah, I was 42. Louise was 45, and it was our first wedding for both of us.
Wow.
Yeah,
See, there's no time. It's the universe's time. It's not ours.
there isn't. Nope. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. So, okay. So we've identified a couple things where trusts are concerning. Anything else that you can think of, though? Because I mean, I can think of a couple of the stories that you told where you had to trust your way through stuff, and it seems to have worked.
Mm-hmm. Let me think. I don't know. What do you got? What
Well,
stories?
I'm thinking first of all, you had that whole big racism incident, and you
Yeah,
had to do a lot of trust to get through that,
that's true. That's true.
you know, and that has worked out well as far as I can tell.
Definitely well. We got a free honeymoon.
Yeah, so that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Um, so trust worked there, and that
Yep.
that that was
Definitely
a
did.
fairly dark kind of, no pun intended. It was a fairly dark kind of situation,
It was.
So um, those are the ones where the reason I mention that is those kinds of situations are the ones where the trust makes the most difference and where it's most critical.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you aren't trusting, that's where things start going wrong.
Yes.
And you did. Despite going through something pretty miserable, you trusted it was going to work,
Yeah.
and
I
it
think
did.
that was the week we spoke with Daniel, and he was explaining how was he explaining it? He was explaining how he deals with avoiding a spiral by knowing that, so okay, this bad thing happened because something good's going to come out of it, but I'm going to act like
Mm,
it already happened. You know what I mean?
yeah, right.
So I took that advice.
Which is a good piece of advice to take.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no doubt about that. So that's a really obvious one, I think.
Hmm.
Um, there was also the deal with the woman who was supposed to be your maid of honor, and that
Oh
didn't work
yeah,
out for,
she
you
who
know,
shall not be named.
yeah, and you trusted that that was going to work out, and it did.
And it did. I had a beautiful shower.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So that worked out really nicely. Um, and those are just the two that come to my mind. I'm sure there are other things because that's just part of putting a wedding together. Things happen. Those are
I
perhaps
mean,
more extreme ones, but
there was a whole time the whole time I was sick where
oh, that's true.
I'd given up, but Kenny just trusted that I was going to be okay.
Wow, yeah.
So he had to do it for the both of us.
Hmm. And that
And
was an
that's a
extensive
lot
period
when
of time.
you're not even a year into a relationship. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
that's a ton. That's
And
where
then
you
with
actually,
COVID not being able to, not being able to visit me, and it was horrible.
but that's also where you find out what his true colors are.
That's true. That's true.
So even if you didn't have the trust then, you now have the evidence to say, well, yeah, I can trust there as well,
Yeah. But I did
which is
trust. I
nice.
did trust. I knew we were getting married probably the second conversation we had
Really? Wow.
before we'd even met. You can ask, well, you can't ask my uncle, he passed away, but you can ask my aunt. I called her and I said, I'm going to marry this man.
Wow.
And she said, can you do it before your uncle dies? And I said,
Aw.
I don't think so. He doesn't even know yet. I don't think so.
Well, he'll be there in spirit, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be there in spirit. Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, though, that you knew that early.
Yeah. Yep.
If you had asked me that question after Louise's and my second conversation, I don't think I would have given that answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what Louise would have said. She might have. I don't know. But I wasn't convinced yet. But that's mainly because I wasn't convinced that I could meet anybody who would stay with me.
Oh, we'll see. You had the wrong attitude, bro.
I was coming out of that mind space.
Yeah.
If I was still in that mind space, I wouldn't have met her.
Right.
But
right.
I was in the process of coming out of it, and then that's when she came into my life, and
Yeah.
I was skeptical because I've been burned so many times.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Totally. That's something I've really been realizing lately. It's not so much about whether or not you are perfectly in the vibrational moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's really more about where are you traveling to. Are you traveling toward the vibration you want to be in, or are you traveling away from it, or are you just kind of stuck?
Yeah.
If you're traveling toward it, you're actually moving in the right direction, and it's already happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's already working out.
Yeah.
Now, the closer you get to the high vibration, the faster stuff happens. But it's still it's happening. You know, even at the slower vibrational speeds, it's happening. As long as you're pointed in that direction, it's happening. And it's hard to notice it. Often I can't notice it at all. But but nevertheless, over time, I've come to realize, it's still happening. It's happening just because I'm moving in that direction. So it didn't really matter that I didn't trust yet.
Yeah.
What mattered was I was moving toward trust.
Exactly.
Regardless of whether I'd actually gotten there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's actually a metaphor for how marriages work and how life works, that I think about it. Because, I mean, Louise and I have gone through all kinds of really rough times.
Mm-hmm.
And the relationship got us through all of it.
Yeah.
All of it, without exception.
Mm-hmm.
There were times where the relationship was sorely stressed.
Yeah.
But the bond was so tight. It carried us through a bunch of stuff. So I think I have to call that a form of trust as well. I may not have trusted. I may not have trusted, what I was hoping for was going to happen, but I knew I could trust the relationship. And trust is trust.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter where it comes from.
That's true. It only matters is how you relate to it and how you feel about it.
Yes. As Neville Goddard said, feeling is the secret. It is. It really is. I'm still learning that one, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I just finished my 9th anniversary of doing the show.
Oh yeah.
It's September 26th. That was the 9th anniversary.
September 26th. Why is that date so familiar?
Well, it's also our wedding anniversary, so you may have.
That's what it is. Okay.
Associated, but yeah, we started the show on our 13th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
But all that time, I'm still learning things like trust, even though I conceptually know them, but learning the feeling, learning to trust the feeling, and so forth. That's an ongoing process.
It is, and you catch yourself every day not doing it.
Sometimes every 5 minutes.
Right. But don't beat yourself up.
No, I don't.
Again.
I don't. Actually, quite the opposite now. I've gotten to the point where I'm really good at forgiving myself.
Yeah, me too.
Are you?
Yeah.
It's a great skill to have, and it's so much better than what it used to be.
It's okay. You got this.
I mean, it used to be like you said, I would beat myself up all the time, and now it's just, well, okay, I did the best I could. I forgive myself. Next, what's next? Just tell me what's next. We'll go there. Yeah, in fact, I told this story yesterday, but the whole deal where we got the new Lexus and what we went through there. Well, when we were sitting in front of the car dealer was freaking out because all these things were going crazy, and he was getting phone calls about things that weren't going right, and somebody had screwed something up and so forth. And at one point clicks his phone off and tosses it on the desk and says, "Why do I keep making mistakes? Why does everybody else keep making mistakes?" And I, without even thinking about it, blurted out to him, "You know what I do when I make a mistake?" And he looked at me and said, "What?" I said, "I forgive myself." And he paused. He said, "You're a very wise man." And I didn't even think about it. I mean, that just kind of blurted out.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's where my new norm has reached at this point. I don't have to think about it anymore.
That's great.
I like that. It is great.
That's a good feeling.
That's probably the best indicator of progress that I've had in a long time. Big progress.
That is huge.
Because you don't really necessarily notice it when you're in the middle of it. Other people can see it a lot easier than you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but when you have something like that happens, that's where it kind of comes home like, wow, I really am making progress. Because that's not what I would have reacted with a year ago or 10 years ago or 20 years ago or whatever.
That's true.
That's when you know.
Yep.
That's when you know. So. All right. Well, this has been good. I do want to make sure I get one promo announcement in. I did have my my interview with Selena Dorsey Valentine, who is the person who runs the Law of Attraction World Summit. And so I'm going to be part of that, as are many of our friends here on LOA today. Neo Positivity is going to be in that. Daniel Mangana is going to be there. David Strickle, Rita Gigante used to be a co-host. Andrew Kaplan, who's been a guest here. Bob Doyle of The Secret is going to be there. Marie Diamond from The Secret is going to be there. Joe Vitale from The Secret is going to be there. So it's quite a cast that I'm a part of this time around, and it's a lot of fun. The reason I bring this up, though, is people who want to attend. First of all, it is free to attend. You can get free tickets, but you have to get them in advance.
And how do we do that?
So I'm going to put a link into the description for this show.
Okay.
I put it into the description for the show 2 days ago as well, and I'll start putting it in more often. But make sure you use it to reserve your tickets, because there's going to be a lot of people going to this thing, but I don't know exactly where the cutoff is. There's going to be a cutoff where beyond a certain point you have to pay a fee to see stuff. And I think that if you pay the premium fee, you also get access to all the videos for like 3 months afterward or something like that.
That's a sweet deal.
Yeah, which it is. It's a very good deal. But if you want to get the freebie stuff, you got to sign up sooner rather than later. So do it before there's a cutoff, because I don't really know when the cutoff is. I'm not sure. All I do know is that the event is October 25th, 26th, and 27th. So it's a 3-day weekend event, and it's going to be pretty hot. It's going to be good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, congrats.
Thank you. That was another example of a blur, by the way. We talked about how the wedding day can be a blur. That interview was a blur.
Yeah, it's like that.
It's kind of like doing the show, except the difference between doing the show and that is when we're doing the show, I'm kind of leading the discussion. I'm asking the questions and so forth. Yeah. Now all of a sudden I'm the recipient of whatever the questions are. And plus when you're the featured speaker, she puts you on screen by yourself. And you can see that you're on screen by yourself. And then all of a sudden you get this feeling like, well, when's she coming back?
Never.
So you have to start talking, right?
Yeah.
But the pressure is on. And what I experienced was I actually blanked out for a second.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, I'm just going to open my mouth and see what comes out. And so I just started, spewing words out. And it was an experience where after I was done, she came back on screen and she said, wow, that was amazing. And I thought to myself, thank God, it made sense. Because I didn't know if it made sense. I mean, it was just like a stream of consciousness coming out of me.
Oh, man.
And she was going on and on about how there were so many gems in there and so forth. Like, oh, good. Glad to hear that.
Right?
So, yeah, that was quite the event. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to your event. And we'll touch base, of course, the day before. But in the meantime, just keep that high vibe going. Thank you to all of our podcast listeners everywhere. We'll see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.